With Terraria's Bigger and Bolder update, we now have almost 10 different boulder types to mess around with. Surprisingly, some of the newer boulder have much more potential than it looks like. With this video, we take a look at the potential of the new boulder, how to get them and where they are used in the best possible way. Before Terraria's 1.4.5 update, we had a total of 3 different boulder types. The normal stone boulder was the very first to be added all the way back with the update 1.1. It took almost 11 years for the next boulder to appear, the live crystal and the bouncy boulder. Just 3 years and 1 update later, Terraria's Bigger and Bolder update added many more boulder types, as the name may already suggest. Unlike the bouncy boulder being exclusive to some special seeds, the new boulder types can be found on normal worlds. One of the amazing new boulder types is the Poo Boulder. The Poo Boulder is made out of 20 pool blocks at a heavy assembler. The Poo Boulder, just like the bouncing boulder, will bounce off tiles until he breaks. When the Poo Boulder breaks, he will leave a block pile of poo. Unlike other boulder types, there's not really any use for the Poo Boulder other than trolling your friends. If you or other player get in contact with the boulder, they start to smell. An absolutely outstanding addition to Terraria, complementing the game's already impressive variety. Moving forward to the next boulder type, it's not really a boulder, but a Ghoulder. And the Ghoulder is much more interesting to mess around with, especially because of its low price. All we need is a single boulder, a graveyard and a heavy assembler. No additional materials required. You can basically convert the normal boulder into a Ghoulder. They are able to generate in normal worlds and look exactly like a normal boulder until they are triggered. Now, the Ghoulder behaves exactly like the ghost from Super Mario, an inspiration that is deeply rooted in Terraria. If we are not looking into their direction, they will start chasing us. Once we turn around to look at them, they will stop and pretend to be a normal boulder. But how can this be used? Well, not as good as the new other boulder types, but look, they will chase us for a couple of seconds. The interesting part here is that they will deal piercing damage to all enemies between the character and the Ghoulder. It's kinda interesting for the early game, considering we can create both a heavy assembler and a graveyard fairly easy and just need stone for the boulder. I'm not sure if this will be some sort of viable strategy, but if one is for sure, it's a lot of fun and may be useful for early events like the Goblin Army. The next addition to our boulder arsenal is the Spider Boulder. Although the Spider Boulder is fairly useless and quite expensive considering we need 200 cobwebs, 1 boulder and a heavy assembler within a graveyard. The Spider Boulder instead is here to add more variety to Terraria's traps found underground. The Spider Boulder will eventually generate close to spider caves and is not exclusive to any special seed. So you can encounter them on normal worlds, and once they move, they will leave cobwebs on their way that can be farmed. Now, I have mentioned the price of 200 cobwebs. However, I got a bit into testing and launched Spider Boulder from space. Surprisingly, they are able to generate more webs than they cost, so technically you could create infinite webs and silk with it. However, once the Spider Boulder breaks, it will spawn a single spider being hostile only towards the player, and thus it's not exactly useful for some farms. But despite that, I still like the Spider Boulder and the possibility to encounter a bigger variety of dangers. And who knows, maybe we will come up with some serious money farm revolving around silk or webs. A boulder that definitely is very useful is the Rainbow Boulder. The Rainbow Boulder comes with a high price of 50 fallen stars, 1 boulder, and is crafted unlike the other boulder at a crystal ball, which means the crafted version is a hard mode exclusive item. Before we use the Rainbow Boulder to our own advantage, it's important to understand how it works. The Rainbow Boulder is one of the 2 boulder friendly towards the player, which means we can't get hit by the projectile. The Rainbow Boulder will bounce off tiles randomly, attacking treasure pots and hostile creatures on its way. Additionally, it will also expose chests just like loot fairies. Obviously, this is pretty useful if you stumble upon it naturally, as it will not just generate on special seeds, but also on normal worlds. Now, you might think 50 stars is a tough price, but to be honest, this thing is pretty good, and I think it's really worth it even if crafted to the high price of 50 fallen stars. If you save up fallen stars for the hard mode Goblin Invasion or for other early hard mode events, the Rainbow Boulder can really help with those events. Why? The Rainbow Boulder will pierce through enemies for a fair amount of time. This is incredibly useful for all kind of events where mobs start to swarm us. So even if the price is fairly high, I can see how I will definitely use the Rainbow Boulder here and there to speed up events. Something important here is that the Rainbow Boulder won't pierce through bosses and mini bosses. The boulder will immediately stop once he comes in contact with bosses. But to be honest, that's very understandable because otherwise it would be pretty broken. And then there's the music, just like the arcade sound effect every time the boulder bounces off tiles, which I really love. It has this old arcade feeling and I just can't get enough of it. The inspiration here is obviously the style of Super Mario, which is some sort of similar to the boulder, making the game much easier for a short amount of time. So every time you stumble upon a rainbow boulder, make sure to use its effect wisely. The last boulder to mess around with is the lava boulder. The lava boulder is crafted with a magma potion and a boulder just like most of the other boulder at a heavy assembler within a graveyard. And to be honest, the lava boulder looks pretty strong on first glance but doesn't do much to our advantage. It couldn't be achieved better by using lava directly for mob farms or other boulder types. Once the boulder breaks, it will leave a little pool of lava similar to how hell slimes work. Unlike the Ghoulder or rainbow boulder, there isn't much purpose other than messing around with. It's simply a nice addition for exploring all kind of worlds, as those lava boulder are able to generate on normal worlds starting above the underworld. Eventually you will come up with a great idea to utilize them, and if so, leave a comment and let me know what you think about the new boulder. One thing I know is that I really would love to see a boulder statue for some of the new boulders. Without the need to craft and place them manually all the time, I could see how this could create all kind of new mob farms and ways to mess around with the game. Although if I think about it, a rainbow boulder statue activated each couple of seconds would be pretty OP and should be definitely a Moonlord drop for the post game. Who knows, maybe we will see it in the last and final update, or some mod will take care about it in the future. But before we end this video, there's technically one boulder type I left out, which is the friendly boulder. The friendly boulder looks just like the Ghoulder, like a normal boulder. However, once he drops and breaks, you can loot the friendly boulder as a pet. My personal favorites here are obviously the rainbow boulder, which potential I still try to fully discover, and the Ghoulder, which is a great idea and it can be a little helpful once you understand how to use it to your own advantage. And something I have my eye on and also actively testing is the spider boulder, with its potential to create more resources than it costs. Overall, the new boulder are much more surprising than I thought and hold a lot of potential that we might discover together in the future. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and make sure to subscribe and like. This was Boulder's Box and I see you next time.